I was 47 years old when I learned that the most dangerous predators don't look like monsters. They look like saviors. They smile like sunshine. And they destroy you so slowly, you don't even realize you're disappearing until there's almost nothing left. My name is Sarah, and this is the story of how I almost lost myself to a man I thought was saving me. The divorce had been final for 2 years, but I still felt like I was living in the aftermath of an earthquake. Everything familiar had crumbled. My ex-husband, my home, my confidence all gone. At 47, I found myself starting over in a small apartment, staring at dating apps at midnight, wondering if it was too late for me. My daughter was away at college. My friends were all married, living lives that no longer had space for a single woman navigating the world alone. The loneliness wasn't just emotional, it was physical. It lived in my chest like a stone. That's when I met Michael. It was at a charity gala my colleague dragged me to. I didn't want to go. I'd gained weight after the divorce, stopped caring about my hair, my clothes, but she insisted, and I went, wearing a dress that didn't quite fit and a smile that felt borrowed. Michael approached me at the bar, 52, silver hair, kind eyes. He wasn't devastatingly handsome, but there was something about him, a warmth, an attentiveness I hadn't felt in years. "You look like you'd rather be anywhere else," he said with a gentle smile. I laughed despite myself. That obvious only to someone who feels the same way. He extended his hand. "Michael, we talked for 3 hours. He was recently widowed," he said. His wife had died of cancer 2 years prior. He understood loss. He understood loneliness. He asked questions about myriad questions, and listened to the answers, like they mattered. "Before I continue, I want to ask you something. Have you ever ignored red flags because someone made you feel special again? Drop a comment below and share your story. You're not alone in this." When he asked for my number, my hands trembled as I typed it into his phone. I felt like a teenager. I felt alive. The first month was intoxicating. Michael texted me every morning, sweet messages, thoughtful questions about my day. He sent flowers to my office. He planned dates that felt crafted specifically for me. A cooking class, because I'd mentioned wanting to learn Italian cuisine. A jazz concert, because I'd casually said I loved Miles Davis. He made me feel seen in a way I'd forgotten was possible. "You're not like other women," he'd say, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. "You're real. You're genuine." My friends were thrilled for me. Even my daughter, when I nervously mentioned him on a phone call, sounded relieved. "Mom, you deserve this. You deserve to be happy." But there were moments, tiny fractures in the perfect facade that I explained away. Like when we ran into his colleague at a restaurant, and the woman's face went pale. She excused herself quickly, and Michael dismissed it with a wave. Old drama. Office politics. Or, when he asked to borrow $500 for a temporary cash flow issue with his business. He paid me back 2 days later, with flowers and an apology. I hated having to ask. "You're the only person I can trust." Trust. That word became his weapon. He started staying over more frequently. Then he had a key made. "Just in case," he said. "I worry about you being alone." It felt romantic, protective. I didn't see it for what it was. The beginning of control. The shift was gradual, like water heating to a boil. Michael started commenting on my clothes. "Are you really wearing that? It's a bit much for your age, don't you think?" He'd laugh, softening the blow. "I'm just looking out for you, baby." He questioned my friendships. "Does Rachel really have your best interests at heart? She seems jealous of what we have." He needed to know where I was, always. If I didn't answer his texts within minutes, he'd call repeatedly, his voice tight with concern. "I was worried something happened to you." The borrowing became frequent. Another $1,000, then 2,000, just until my investment comes through. It always came through eventually, but the amounts grew, and my savings shrank. My daughter called less. When I asked why, she was quiet. "He answers your phone sometimes, Mom. He's weird. He told me you were busy and couldn't talk. But I could hear you in the background saying you'd call me back." I defended him. "He was just trying to let me rest, honey." I'd had a long day, but doubt had planted itself in my mind. If this story is resonating with you, please hit that subscribe button. We share real stories about real struggles, and your support helps us reach others who need to hear they're not alone. The breaking point came on a Tuesday evening. I came home early from work and found Michael in my apartment with another woman, not in a compromising position, just sitting together on my couch, her laptop open between them. "Sarah, you're home early," he said, standing quickly. Too quickly. The woman gathered her things without making eye contact. Who is that? I asked after she left. A business associate. We were reviewing contracts in my apartment. His expression hardened a look I'd never seen before. Why are you interrogating me? I thought you trusted me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I did something I'd never done before. I looked through his phone while he showered. The messages made my blood run cold. Conversations with multiple women, all following the same pattern, the same sweet words, the same borrowed money. One message from a woman named Jennifer. You promised you'd pay me back by now. I need that money for my daughter's tuition. His response, baby, be patient. I'm dealing with a new one right now. She's good for at least 10K. A new one. I was a mark, a target, one of many. When Michael came out of the shower, I was sitting on the couch with his phone in my hand. He didn't apologize. He didn't explain. He got angry. He went through my private property. Who do you think you are? I stood, legs shaking. Get out. This is partially my place now. I live here. No, I said, my voice stronger than I felt. You don't. Get out, or I'm calling the police. Something dangerous flashed in his eyes. For a moment, I thought he might hurt me. But he just grabbed his jacket and left, slamming the door so hard the frame cracked. I changed the locks that night. The next morning, I filed a police report. The detective wasn't surprised. Michael Preston. We've had 3 other complaints about him this year. He's a romance scammer. Targets women in their 40s and 50s, usually divorced or widowed. I'd given him $8,000 total. I'd never see it again. But the money wasn't the worst part. The worst part was how he'd made me doubt myself. Isolated me from friends. Made me feel like I was lucky he chose me. He'd stolen my confidence, my boundaries, my ability to trust my own instincts. It's been a year now. I'm in therapy. I've reconnected with my daughter and friends. I'm rebuilding my savings and my sense of self. I share this story not for pity, but as a warning. Romance scammers, emotional predators, they don't look like villains. They look like Michael. Charming, attentive, wounded. They find women like me, good-hearted, lonely, wanting to believe in love again. Here's what I learned, and what I want you to remember. Real love doesn't isolate you, it connects you. If someone is pulling you away from friends and family, that's not protection. That's control. Real love doesn't make you question yourself. If you find yourself constantly apologizing, constantly walking on eggshells, constantly wondering if you're too much or not enough, that's not love. That's manipulation. Real love doesn't need your money to prove itself. Period. Real love respects your boundaries. If someone makes you feel guilty for having limits, they don't respect you. And most importantly, trust your instincts. Those red flags I ignored. My gut saw them, but I was so desperate to not be alone, so desperate to feel wanted, that I silenced my own inner voice. Your intuition is not your enemy. It's your protector. I know some of you watching this are in a situation like I was. Maybe you're seeing the signs but making excuses. Maybe you're afraid to leave. Maybe you think you're too old, too damaged, too far gone to start over. You're not. I'm 48 now, and I'm more whole than I was at 47 even, after everything. Because I chose myself, and you can too. If this story helped you, please give this video a like. It helps YouTube show it to others who might need to hear it. Share it with someone who needs this message. Take care of yourself. You're worth more than someone else's lies. And remember, being alone is not the same as being lonely. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself. Until next time, stay safe and stay strong. You deserve real love. Don't settle for manipulation.